congratulate you. Obviously.
Disconnect. Which was YouTube.
But Rabbi went silent. This only piqued Philo's curiosity, and she asked if he was a total beginner at this, laughing because, both in and out of the water, he was a complete fool. It couldn't be helped after all, and she asked if he wanted her help in that case. An item that would help Rabbi swim made him worry about what she might pull out. Maybe she had some strange formula for transmutation, and that made him uneasy. However, what she pulled out was a safety swimsuit to help him swim. He immediately ran off to get away from her, and she chased after him to catch him. It was time to change clothes, but Rabbi refused at all costs. She never understood why he always avoided wearing feminine outfits around her. But this time it was fine, she said, because the clothes were considered unisex. Although Rabbi could tell Philo was blatantly lying with a straight face. In any case, even if he gained the ability to swim, he still didn't have the strength or skill as to catch a fish on his own. And she responded that in that case, there was no need to worry, because now she had a plan. They told him about a fish doctor that loved to eat. He loved mermaid scales, and that swimsuit was made from them. So when Rabbi was calling for help, and Rabbi realized she couldn't swim, it didn't take long before she vanished under the water, worrying Rabbi. However, even underwater, Philo could breathe just fine. She understood it was an intended effect. After all, it was swim support gear. That made her laugh, feeling confident, because her items really were great. But it didn't take long for lots of fish to start circling her. Just as expected, Rabbi became concerned because he would have to save her from the fish attacks. The fish were tickling her, drawn in by the mermaid swimsuit. So the protagonist prepared and launched an improvised fishing rod using his boomerang. He ended up hooking the merchant directly in the mouth like actual bait. And Rabbi began to pull. He could feel the fish caught on the line. The result was that he got a huge catch, one he had never felt before. The fish were pulling with too much strength for him to handle. He couldn't miss this opportunity. Rabbi gave it his all to reel them in. Without delay, the protagonist pulled the merchant out of the water with a big toss. When he turned around, he found her exhausted, but at least he was relieved she was okay. Still, she screamed, because he managed to see something positive in that situation. Asking what exactly he thought he was doing by fishing her up like that, the protagonist snapped back that she was planning to do the exact same thing to him earlier. Philo replied that it still would have been a completely different experience from what she had. In the end, they managed to catch a few fish, but the swimsuit...
It's just around here. It's up here. Yeet. Was it this house? Yeah, it was. Let's go upstairs. Actually, let's turn the actual balcony. This balcony is not the actual balcony. Here. As you can see, this is the actual balcony. What there is not actual balcony. Press play.
Broke into pieces. Formal request. That's when an irritated Coney found out her little brother had gone off to fight a kraken. Meanwhile, Rabbi was working to lure the kraken out. It didn't take long before the fish managed to do that on their own. That was the real kraken. He already knew it, but its size was truly exceptional. He wondered if it was fair to feel sorry for himself against something that huge. Even so, he had no other choice. Defeat that thing and keep moving forward. All to fulfill his previous promise, it had to be done. Meanwhile, Philo was cheering for him. No matter how strong his enemy was, he wasn't going to lose. That's why she rooted for him, though, from a safe distance. Anyway, at that rate, he'd he'd fall behind, and retreating would have been smarter. No matter how you looked at it, the compatibility between that thing and the merchant was awful. At that, Rabbi ran while shouting for Philo to stay very well hidden. With his current status, even fighting head-on would make victory impossible. So using his current skills and items, they needed a special plan to win. Because of that, the protagonist used traps to his advantage, triggered by the Kraken. First, they would use the scroll to make it harm itself by accident. Before the Kraken appeared, the two had worked to scatter traps throughout the area. They marked the traps with an X on the ground so Rabbi could avoid them. The trap damage wasn't fatal, but he needed to be careful. By guiding the tentacles through the traps, they could gradually wear down its strength. Using the boomerang tactic was currently the smartest option, and it was essential. It was important to. After thanking him for the words, Rabbi left the shop with a big smile. Lane was surprised to see he could smile so freely like that. Anyway, it really did seem like they'd had a refreshing little encounter. She begged for help.
Ready? Hey, Tom.
Oh, hey, my friends, it's just an and my other mothers. Good night,
Good night.
Well, I will see you in the morning. See you then.